Hello team, and welcome back to SCAREDY CAT. Apologies that it has been such a hot minute since our last installment of this series on the channel where I subject myself to countless horror films. In truth, it's because my real life was looking like SCAREDY CAT for a hot minute in the past few months, and now the real world, everything kind of has gone to shiz. I didn't want to fan the flames, let's put it that way. My real life was kind of looking questionable. Earlier this year, the past few months, actually exactly when I dipped off from doing these horror reactions, but we finally returned to a place where I'm ready to dive back in and get locked back in and remind myself that times could always be worse. There could always be zombies. At least I believe that is the premise of this franchise. Admittedly, I'm getting into this quite late to the game, frankly. I had no idea that this actually really existed, or perhaps I had forgotten about this series, this larger franchise. There's a lot more to it, right? I'm obviously watching this in the build-up to 28 Years Later, which I have seen quite a lot of promo for. I've gone to the movies a lot lately, and so I always am seeing trailers for that, and in my opinion, it looks really intriguing, coming as a layperson who knows nothing about this franchise or these films, and so that really piqued my interest because I'm genuinely curious to go and see this sequel here many years later, 28 years later, also because it stars Jodie Comer, who is the one person in this world that I will put on a pedestal. She is my absolute freaking queen, my girl crush. I fangirl over her so hard that I am contractually obligated up here to just go and watch everything that she's ever done. So naturally I was like, okay, I gotta lock in and get informed on everything proceeding leading up to that. But of course also in these OG films, Tommy Shelby himself, Cillian Murphy. I will take whatever Tommy Shelby content I can get. So forgive my god-awful Peaky Blinders accent. Anyway, here we go. You guys really dislike whenever I go into these and read, descriptions or, God forbid, run the risk of Googling the premise, the plot line, and accidentally encounter spoilers in the process. And you guys are right. So you know what? Shout out. Thank you guys for looking out for me. So in continuation with the rest of the SCAREDY CAT films that we have gone into lately, I'm not going to read anything about it. I think all I know is that this is horror and sci-fi, which is always a great bundle, and that there are zombies. So, that's about it. That's the knowledge that we're rocking with. But like I said, I think 28 years later, it looks really interesting in my opinion, and so I'm curious to see how shiz unfolded, how it all hit the fan in the larger franchise here. So without further ado, let's just jump the frick in and see what the frick we're in for. I am ready. I am refreshed. It's been months since I've watched a horror film. Dare I say I'm craving it. Without further ado, oh, I'm excited. I'm giddy. SCAREDY CAT's back, y'all. Let's freaking get it. Hello. No, okay, frick, this is too close to the real world already. I don't like this. I meant for this to be an escape, and this looks like our effing news today. What the frick? This is real life, y'all. Are they torturing it with the plight of humanity? Are these undercover PETA? Free them, save them.
God, keep your shit together if you want to get them out of here.
Security, we have a break-in. Get to section. I know who you are. I know what you think you're doing.
You don't want to get hurt.
Chimps are infected. They're highly contagious. They've been given an inhibitor.
Infected with what?
Rage.
What the fuck is talking about?
The infection is in their blood and saliva. One bite. Stop!
Okay, so unknowingly by... Oh! Planet of the Apes up in here. I don't like when people vomit up blood. Dang, they were just trying to free them. But still, humanity brought this upon themselves, of course. Oh, frick. Hype. What'd they do to Tommy Shelby?
Hello?
Wait, no freaking way. Was he like in a coma? And the whole world went to shiz? Something about all the graininess of this, it feels like found footage. That's gotta hit hard. Pepsi first thing after you're waking up from a coma or something? Oh! That is crazy. It's dead quiet. Oh my god. Okay, so the scar, he definitely had like brain surgery or something. That is crazy.
Hello?
This is so eerie. He's literally touring the whole freaking city. That is impressive. That's crazy that they were able to get it looking this absent of human life. So that's crazy. If there was an evacuation, they just left them. How urgent was this? What was the timeline? Like, did everybody have 5 minutes to get the frick out, and so all the hospital staff just abandoned him? Whoa, what the frick would you do then? You got the whole place to yourself! Jeez, what the frick? How did they all get wiped out at the same freaking time?
Hello?
Oh! No, no, no. Holy, oh god. Don't open it. Don't open it. Oh! Okay, well, run.
Father? Are you okay? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't be laughing, but... Okay, so maybe he doesn't have the entirety of London to himself. Oh. Now, why are some of them dead and some of them still going? Get him with the Molotov!
Just shut up! Who are those people? Let's go!
Sheesh.
Let's go! Please tell me what the fuck is going on! Come on!
So who are you?
I'm a bicycle courier. I was riding a package from Farringdon and a car cut across me. And then I wake up today in hospital. I wake up and I'm... What's your name? Jim. I'm Mark. This is Selena. I've got some bad news.
Started
Yeah,
as
thank-
writing, and then it wasn't on the TV anymore. It was in the street outside. It was coming through your windows. By the time they tried to evacuate the cities, it was already too late.
What about the government? What are they doing?
There's no government.
Of course there's a government. No, there's no government, no police, no army. You're the first uninfected person we've seen in 6 days. Where's your family? Dead.
Yours will be dead too.
You're living Deptford. I can walk it, okay?
You won't!
Yes!
No one ever comes back.
You never go anywhere alone unless you got no choice. You only travel during daylight unless you got no choice.
Are they nocturnal? All of this stuff hits so differently post, like, 2020, if you know what I mean. Oh my god. Holy F. Oh my god.
They died peacefully. You should be grateful.
My parents and my sisters, we went to Paddington Station. About 20,000 other people had the same idea. I lost my grip on my sister's hand. I looked down and I was standing on all these people, like a carpet. People who had fallen and spread fast. Looking down, you couldn't tell which faces were infected and which weren't. And I saw my dad. His face. You should be grateful.
We don't have time to get back to the shop before dark.
So do they become active at night? So I guess his parents just did the deed, you know, and eliminated themselves. Like, Jesus, that prospects of that happening as well. God. This stuff no longer just feels like it's reserved for science fiction anymore after the years we've had.
Jim. Yeah.
Right. Start working on them then.
That got me.
Sister Bridges.
Were you bitten? Were you bitten? Oh. Did any of the blood get in your mouth?
Oh, F.
Mark?
Holy frick, she didn't
Get
hesitate.
that cleaned off.
I guess it happens quickly. Yeah, based on the way she did not hesitate to frickin' she just point blank was like, bye.
I mean, how did you know he was infected?
Didn't know he was infected, okay? He knew. I could see in his face. Look, if someone gets infected, you've got between 10 and 20 seconds to kill them.
Oh,
And just so you know,
Jesus.
and if it happens to you, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Staying alive's as good as it gets.
Apocalyptic stuff like this, I'm like, you're not gonna catch me fighting for my life.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Do you need a break?
You?
No.
And why do you need a break? By the way.
You've got no fat on you, and all you've had to eat is sugar. Pepsi or milk.
Was this sponsored by
Quiet. It's infected.
Big Soda? Because all they've had is Pepsi's laying around everywhere. Okay. That really sounded like it was in my room, y'all.
Down the corridor, flat 157.
Oh god.
Thank you.
Ugh, this is a lot. The sound design, the way that just freaking escalated.
So, I'm Frank anyway. Jim.
Selena.
So,
After all that, he's like, hey.
this is my daughter Hannah. This is great. It's just great. So this is your place?
Like, why am I laughing? They're probably just elated to see another living human being.
Well, cheers.
I feel like this is so rare for post-apocalyptic stuff. Usually, once it all goes to shiz, you see depictions of the ways humanity just turns on each other and they lose trust. You don't trust any other survivors because they can be a bigger threat. So the fact that they just let him into their house.
So what do you make of them?
Well, they're desperate. Probably need us more than we need them.
Oh, that could be why.
But you should be more concerned about whether they're going to slow you down.
Right, because if they slowed you down
I'd leave them behind.
in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You're going to wind up getting yourself killed.
You think I don't get it, but I do get it. And I know I'd be dead already if I hadn't met you. I mean, thank you.
Now that he's clean shaven, holy smokes. He's so freaking young. I guess this was 2002.
Oh my God.
See, like, I don't trust anybody. It could be a trap.
Get up there. Me and Hannah do need you more than you need us.
Look,
That's okay. It's the truth.
If it's a recording, for all we know, the soldiers who made it are dead.
The only way to find out is to reach.
We could die trying, Frank.
Or die here. And anyway, you need us just the same as we need you.
Touche.
So we have to try and get there.
Get there how?
So still I'm trying to grasp, how are there piles of deceased, but some are still, like, alive and rabid?
No, see, this is a really shit idea.
Really fucking obviously a shit idea.
Hold on!
That's one way to do it. You can never have a moment of them all laughing and having happiness. Some of them are gonna die. Oh.
The world's worst place to get a flat, huh?
Agreed. Think we better do this quick.
Hey, did you hear that? Hey, did you hear that?
Dad?
Ew. Oh.
Oh, no fucking rat.
Ew. Worst freaking nightmare. Oh, great. They're sprinting. Y'all run.
There's no time. Forget the jack. Just lift everyone. Grab hold. I can see them. They're coming.
Why is the freaking 13-year-old girl responsible for changing out the spare tire, y'all? Oh!
2, 1.
Come on. Get up. Fucking up.
Hey, Frank.
That's too close.
Call the cab.
Stock up, y'all. Get the Twinkies. Do it for Tallahassee. Zombieland. Anybody get that? Dang. Couldn't even close the trunk.
Either we do this now, or we're walking.
I love her trench coat. Like, talk about being fashionable in the apocalypse. Dang. That's gonna be the first thing I grab.
We've got enough food, Jim.
We don't have any cheeseburgers.
Yeah, it's really just gotta smell god-awful everywhere. Don't wake them.
Hello?
No. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Like, how are some of them stone cold dead and how are some of them still rabid like that? What the frick?
Find anything, Jim.
No, let's get out of here.
Oh my God. I don't like the taste of Emrys.
Like a family.
Do you think they're infected?
No, because horses are pure and free. Aw. Nature thrives without us.
Doesn't feel safe, does it? Outside like this. Hey, Selena.
What is it?
Did you get to sleep?
Bloody hell. Just need a hell of a prescription for that lot.
What if we're attacked in the middle of the night? We won't even care.
You're done.
2 each.
I feel like that's so ballsy, taking Valium, sleeping, camping outside in the apocalypse.
Let her live a little.
Give her half of one.
Let her live a little. Let her have a good night's sleep. Oh no. course something goes wrong. Did they leave them?
Hello! 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 Hello!
Oh, thank God. I was about to say that would be crazy. They played the, oh, we need your help card and then abandoned them. Huh.
Hurry up! No, did I miss breakfast?
You usually do anything, you.
Jam and fry up.
There's something about all this operatic choir music.
Must be Manchester.
Oh my. Did they just straight up start bombing cities? To try to neutralize it? Oh my God. Not Birmingham. Not my precious Peaky Blinders.
This is it.
I feel like this could be a trap.
Did they leave?
I don't like this. I think we should go.
No! Can't believe it.
Frank.
We have to go.
Yeah.
Go fucking where?
Oh, F.
Get out of it.
No! Oh! Direct hit? No, 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 no.
Dad?
Oh no.
Sorry I lost my temper. Hannah, I love you very much.
What?
Keep away from me. Keep away from me!
Dad?
Keep away from me! Keep away from me! Keep away!
What's wrong? Dad!
Jimmy's infected!
No!
Jen! No! Jen, kill him!
Oh!
Stay away from him!
Oh, so y'all were just frickin' hiding. Playing hide and seek? Where were you when we were frickin' hollering for you?
Three survivors. One male, two female. Put a curl on.
I don't know why, but part of me still feels like this is a trap, because why were they not showing themselves when they literally sent out the radio call, luring people there?
How's she doing?
Well, she's lost her dad, Jim.
Don't do that. Come on. She's tough and she's strong and she'll cope just like I'll cope and just like you'll cope.
I want her to be okay. It was all just fun.
So you heard our broadcast?
We're just hoping for...
The answer to infection.
Just feel very lucky to have found you.
You were lucky. You're quite safe here.
I don't know. I'm getting weird vibes.
All around the house. And lastly, meet Mela. Mela, Jim. The idea was to learn something about infection.
Don't like that, don't like that, don't like that.
And eventually he'll tell me how long the infected take to starve to death.
Okay, you're on to something. But how much of them is still alive in there? That's the thing. Like, is that... is it torture? Is any part of them still sentient in there? Oh. Still just have bad vibes about this.
So, what have we here? Omelette! I was going to propose a toast, but this omelette
just as well.
Like, they all seem a little bit deranged slash, like, too spunky.
James, did you notice while cooking that these eggs are off?
I thought the salt might cover the taste, sir.
Get rid of it.
What a fucking disappointment. I saw those eggs, I thought it was Christmas. We'll all have eggs again once everything's back to normal.
You muppet. If you look at the whole life of the planet, you know, man has only been around for a few blinks of an eye. So if the infection wipes us all out, that is a return to normality.
This is what I've seen in the 4 weeks since infection. People killing people, which is much what I saw in the 4 weeks before infection and the 4 weeks before that and before that, as far back as I care to remember, people killing people.
He's not
wrong.
wrong.
My mind puts us in a state of normality right now.
Oh, great. I mean, I guess this is how they've stayed alive. They're very enthusiastic. Holy shnikes. Okay, maybe I misjudged all of them in the bad vibes here. I mean, they're alive for a reason. Ew. Jeez. It's like party time for them.
Listen, sweetheart. You ain't gonna be needing this anymore. Eh? You wanna get your hands on a really big shot? Will you just come and see me? Fuck you! Oh, you
Thank God.
Jones, Bedford, go with her.
Yeah, get your freaking men in order here, sir. Like, there's gotta be a reason there's no other lay people here.
Drink.
I don't know. Don't think they should stay here. I mean, they're packing heat. They've got protection, but do they?
We're grateful, okay? We're very grateful for your protection.
Since it began, who have you killed? You wouldn't be alive now if you hadn't killed somebody.
He did smash that kid's face.
Boy.
I promised them women. 8 days ago, I found Jones with his gun in his mouth. He said he was going to kill himself because there was no future. What do 9 men do except wait to die themselves? I set the radio broadcasting and I promised them women.
I freaking knew it. God dang it. Leave! That's crazy.
Where is it, Jim?
We have to go.
Jim, wait!
Come on! In the cab we go.
Oh.
You're not gonna keep them here.
This poor man's the only one with sense. Run now, y'all. They're distracted. Go.
I want to give you a chance. You can be with us. But I can't let them go.
This is crazy.
Him too.
What the frick are they doing? Taking them out back and executing them? This is so deranged. I mean, that's just horrifying. I couldn't even have predicted that. I knew the vibes were bad. I knew there was bad juju, but... Oh! Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh my frick, they have 1000% that freaking radio call. He said it, they're just trying to lure people here. Oh my god.
Wait, just use the gun.
She's gonna stick me, Mitchell, is that it?
Wait, just shoot him. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Okay.
Fuck it. Get up, get up.
Oh my god, play dead! Oh, I should have known. They're all just crazy.
We're fucked. We're fucked. He's over the wall. He's dead.
Yeah, true. How is he gonna get back and not trip all their minds? plane? Help!
No. Do it, Hannah.
Oh my god, this is so freaking deranged. I couldn't even have predicted this crazy ass shiz.
Come on, it's only dressing up.
Selena! You need to leave me alone with Hannah. Okay? If you want us to get changed, you have to leave the room. Okay?
Come on, let's leave the room.
This is the horror, y'all. This is scarier than the frickin' zombies themselves. Jesus. Ooh, give them all Valium.
These Hannah, okay? I'm making you not care. Okay?
Someone's on the blockade. Move! Speed.
Oh, y'all pissed Jim off. Step in, Tommy Shelby. That's crazy. Jim's going from being a postal carrier, did he say, to a hero against the Marines? The Army, whoever these guys are. I love he's scurrying around. Go on, waste your bullets. This reminds me of Predator, except Jim is the Predator now. Oh. Clever. Yeah, y'all better be scared. Jim, you're a genius. Look at him. Got him running for dear life. Oh my god, he's gonna free this. I forgot about this guy. Set him loose.
I heard something. Girls, keep an eye on him, will ya?
Those pills, I can feel them. What are you gonna do if they don't come back? I think they've been killed.
So I said shut up!
Hannah.
And you're gonna be next.
Yes, get them with the psychological warfare. She knows what she's doing. Oh.
I feel fine, really.
I want what she's having. Oh, that's glorious. Oh. Jim, you're so friggin' smart. I didn't even consider that. The rest of them are going to turn infected. All it takes is 20 seconds, and then they're all going to be wreaking havoc on each other. Brilliant. I'm laughing more than I thought I would, y'all. Nice. Jim likes it. There's something glimmering in his eye. Oh, ow. The bayonet. Jesus. There's something glimmering in his eye when he smacked that boy with the baseball bat. You brought this upon your twisted selves. Smart.
Come on!
treatment. He's he martelled him. Ow! Oh my god, she thinks he's infected. No, he's just rabid.
Goes longer than a heartbeat.
Shout out Jim.
Hannah, it's okay.
You stoned?
It's a long story.
Are you stoned? Oh, Jesus.
Come on, move!
The captain's still out there, though. Ah!
You killed all my boys.
Well, frick. They continue to underestimate her. He took his revenge. He's not starved now.
The gates are locked!
Just keep going.
Do it!
Buckle up. She's drugged, y'all. She's on. Do not tell me. Oh. Holy shnikes. Oh, they got me for a second. I thought that was about to be the ending. Huh? Oh my god, back where it started. Back in the hospital.
Not the curtains as well. It looked all right in this, you know.
It's coming.
Oh, they're creating like a big SOS.
Go.
I got chills today.
Do you think he saw us this time?
Not the end credits music I was expecting, but it ended on a freaking hopeful note. Holy shnikes. That was a lot. That was certainly not what I was expecting. That was interesting because obviously, as I had mentioned, all I knew about this was the premise of it was a zombie, type apocalypse. And so when I think about that, my preconceived notion, I think, is always to assume like mass chaos, mass pandemonia. But that's what was interesting about this, to wake up and ingest all of this from Jim's perspective. It almost begs the question, what's more terrifying, to have lived through the end of the world, the way it all unfolded? And you can only then imagine, that's very interesting. The fact that it was only then having to use your brain and imagination to try to conceive and put together of what it actually could have been like. The way they're describing it, it's like there's almost not even time for mass pandemonia, because if that's how quickly it activates within 20 seconds, that's crazy. It leaves no time. The wiggle room, the turnover rate for how rapidly this spread, there truly was. Really, like, what would you do? What the frick would you do? So the beginning of this begged the question, would you rather be? Did Jim have it easy? In ways, yes, he had it more terrifying, to awaken to this, and the world is completely normal when you get hit by a car. I mean, that's not a normal daily routine, but to be going about your life business as usual. Yes, to then be involved in an accident, but then to wake up and everything has gone to shiz. Like, what's worse, to be in Jim's shoes and to have to ingest all this bit by bit and just realize that you never even had an opportunity to say goodbye, or even just like watch the world burn, or to be the other survivors and have witnessed that. As you're hearing them, you can't hesitate to have to kill your own family or watch your own family, turn like that and become infected. And the fact that it does happen in such a blink of an eye, that's like crazy to grapple with. So the beginning stages of this, Jim is the vehicle through which you're learning all of this, because it didn't show the downfall. It shows the outbreak, shows the crazy chimpanzees, which is just freaking, of course, because of course, there's a larger topic there that they only really kind of obviously scratch the surface of, because that's not what it's about. It's not about how it got started necessarily. It's about the 28 days later, the aftermath, but scratching the surface, the tip of that larger iceberg of course, humanity leads to their own downfall via curiosity that entails torturing other animals, because of course. So it's like, it begs the question, do we deserve it? Are we going to be our own ruin? And then, piled onto the themes that we do learn, from the soldiers here in the end, fast forward to the complete second half of the movie, but the message being we've always just killed and tortured, kill and torture. Could you even say that this was the apocalypse, because it's no different from what we inflict upon each other all the time, all day, every day. That's why I was saying the beginning snippets of this, when it's showing just flashes of the news, it's freaking crazy, because here I am putting on a horror movie to try to watch for some form of escape, but it's still very reflective of our real world. And even just those news snippets that they were showing in the beginning, this kind of mass chaos globally, it's like, this is what our news looks like today. Nothing has changed. And that's kind of what the messaging was there from the deranged captain before he walked the plank, and really we learned that he went overboard. But for him, especially being somebody in the armed forces, his observation that this is no different, I've just seen this constantly on playback, on a loop. It begs the question, is this any worse? Is this what we deserve? This is just another phase in the cycle of humanity, just killing each other, just to a larger extent. You can only imagine mentally, psychologically, what that would do. So it almost just begged this interesting question. Whose position would you rather be in? Jim's? And he's kind of spared all of that, but has to take it all in one hit. The other survivors, Selena, the folks he meets along the way who lived through it and, God forbid, had to kill their own family members, as we see, has to kill her own, companion. What is the worst way to experience the apocalypse? Yeah, can you sleep through it and then have to deal with the aftermath, or to watch the world, descend, and as they described it, rather rapidly? And that's also just, these types of movies are, infection-based horror apocalypse films are just, I feel like, harder to watch now, because I was saying it's not necessarily so far-fetched. It's no longer just reserved for science fiction. It's just the natural course of events to be like, where's the government? Surely they're in a bunker somewhere, right? Like, somebody's looking out for us. And then to learn, like, no. Post-apocalyptic movies always get me, because it's just like, if I were in their shoes, I wouldn't be trying that hard to survive, but that was, of course, also an underlying moral of this, as you see, through the connection developing between Jim and Selena. Selena, who does have a bit of a pessimistic life or death, fight or flight, survival mindset, attitude, and that's obviously what's kept her alive, and that's what she's clinging to for survival. But the connection that blossoms between the two of them obviously bleeds into the larger narrative and message that, yes, there is still something that we can control and live for, and that's our own happiness. So, I was not expecting this to have as hopeful of an ending as it did. One of the most brilliant parts of this is the fact that the horror was not necessarily in the iterations of the zombies, because there's so many different, takes on a zombie apocalypse anymore. And, you've got The Last of Us, Walking Dead. Like, I like that it wasn't necessarily about the zombies themselves, or, the remnants of humanity. That's why I was questioning the whole time, how are some of them comatose? How are some of them still going? What is the lifespan, the duration, the full kind of completed process of this infection? But it's not what it was about. And it obviously took me a hot second to get there, because there I was continuously asking questions, but that wasn't the point to learn more. Because, yeah, realistically, what can you do? What could you do? The whole point was, it's again, and you know what? They got me. I always freaking say this. My favorite thing about post-apocalyptic films is the narrative that sometimes what happens to humanity, you know, the survivors, their moral compass, you know, what you would psychologically go through and what that can do, and as we saw here, how it can make you deranged. Other humans, other survivors can pose the worse threat than the actual zombie or alien or whatever it is that has invaded and taken over mankind, the human race. It's still, at the end of the day, you know, the zombies, are they sentient? Are they not? Are they still conscious in there? Who knows? They're just deranged and rabid at that point. But in a world of zombies, humans, not even just humans, but that was sick in this one, like, not even just any layperson or humans, but like supposed to be the best of us, you know, the armed forces, special ops, the people that you initially gravitate to, like Jim's first words, where's the government, where's the army? Like, that's who you would instinctually be like, where are the people meant to protect us in a time like this when the world is freaking crashing out? And even still, when you find those people, they found them, but that's why I was like, there's just bad vibes from the start. I don't freaking trust this. But that's not their instinct. Their instinct is like, oh my god, we freaking found salvation, the army, thank gosh. The people that are supposed to protect you and you're supposed to feel safe with, and they're even arguably more so a bigger threat than the zombies, because this is a theme that happens in the Alien franchise. You know, the aliens, the xenomorphs, they're not trying to kill each other. And when they kill humans, you know, it's for survival, it's for breeding, it's for their own population objectives, whatever they're trying to achieve. But it's always the humans who will backstab each other. It's humans who have the moral compass, are capable of humanity, that it's scarier and more horrific and terrifying to watch them lose it and watch humanity crumple in somebody else and they turn into a deranged monster, and it's like, that's scarier than the zombies. Humans will inflict worse things upon each other. That's where the horror in this was. It was just, I couldn't even have predicted that. Like I said, the whole time I knew the vibes were off and I thought it was a trap, but I couldn't even have conceived of such vile, obviously, you know, their objective, just because, of course. I would be curious to see how this film would have been received if it was put out today, because if you're in a forest and there's a man or a bear, who are you choosing? You know, I don't even know if I framed that hypothetical argument correctly, but it blew up the internet, and you had many women choosing the bear, and that enraged quite a lot of people, men specifically. That's why I'm like, if this movie were to be put out today, what would people make of it? I'm sure it's regarded favorably, right? Like, I think people look back on this franchise. What's the rating of this? Yeah, 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. I, dare I say, don't know if the commentary / public reception would be the same, because God forbid now you were to release a movie where not just the men, but the army is the villains here, the scarier antagonists. Genuinely, I was more terrified for the women in the house, Selena and Hannah. When Jim, you know, when they go to execute him and they're left on their own, that's more harrowing. And maybe, sure, I'm biased as a female viewer, but that's more harrowing than any of the scenes we saw with the zombies in this. Yeah, were the zombies unsettling and scary? Yes, but they were also just kind of like generic zombies. Like, there was nothing as intense about them or as grotesque necessarily as like the clickers that you see in The Last of Us. And sorry to, I guess, keep comparing this to The Last of Us, but it's one of the most predominant current, you know, in the cultural lexicon of zombie apocalypse, you know, media. The Last of Us is dominating the game right now. Maybe not so much after season 2, but that's a whole other story. But the clickers, the zombies, the experience of that, of fighting off the infected, it's viscerally scary. You know, there is something grotesque and just physically horrific about them. The zombies in this, I kind of like that they were just generic, and I say that just for lack of a better term, because I don't really know what else. Like, they were just plain. Like, they did just kind of look like crazed, rabid humans, and I think that is fitting with the timeline in which the infection actually sank in. You know, within 20 seconds, you're not going to be, you know, the thing about the clickers is that they were festering. You know, they are decades old, and so that's why they look so morbid and twisted and wretched and just chopped. I think the appearance of the zombies here is fitting. They, you know, from a distance, they do just look like regular human beings just charging at you. And then, yeah, there's blood and whatever coming out of their mouth, and they have Sith eyes, but there wasn't anything super physically, like, scary about them. Like, I was just more horrified of the soldiers, of the human beings who are still there, still sentient and capable of making decisions, still have some sort of maybe moral compass that they're either operating under or not. Clearly not in this case. That was just more terrifying, and I thought they executed it perfectly, and so that's why I loved Jim going absolutely rabid on them, and that's why I was like, this feels like The Predator, y'all, because the whole horror of that film is you're dealing with the most special ops armed forces, you know, the toughest dudes in the game to ever do it, and to see them absolutely terrified and just rendered speechless with the Predator, you know, harassing them the whole time, it paints it into perspective how genuinely terrifying it must be if you've got the best of our front lines that are like quaking in their boots. And so to see them in this case here, again, similar scenario, armed forces. In this case, however, I will say they were not like the men in The Predator who literally were the best of the best. These folks were definitely very green. Seemingly it was like their first day on the job based on how freaking trigger happy they were. It's clear that they were enthusiastic and had a passion for killing. You know, it kind of just had very like fraternity frat bros with guns vibes who don't actually know what they're doing. Hence why the whole time I was like, y'all get out now. Something is freaking off about them. So yes, when I compare them to The Predator, the special forces in that film, they're not in the same league at all. We were dealing with a very different caliber of, you know, I hesitate to even call them soldiers because they behaved like anything but yeah, I loved that aspect of this. That again, it's my favorite trope in horror post-apocalyptic content, to be more terrified of what humans are capable of, because they're still me going to poke myself in the eye, they're still all there up here for the most part. Now you can tell like something was deranged about them, yeah, like arguably you would psychologically deteriorate, and I'm sure that when you're starving and sleep deprived and you've experienced and lived through some of the most harrowing shiz, yeah, that's going to like mess with you mentally. And so that's just obviously morbid and so twisted and just so dark, you know, to frame that from the perspective of, oh my God, we found the army, they're supposed to be our salvation. I know I'm fixating on that a lot, but this was the scariest part of the film for me, and I do just love that trope. But they got my guard down because y'all caught me saying it when we met Hannah and her father. I was like, oh my God, the fact that they're all so quick to just trust each other and let Jim and Selena sleep in their freaking apartment. You just met them and saved their lives. They could rob you, kill you. My guard was down because there was saying, oh, you can't trust anybody. But Hannah and her father proved to actually be, you know, a wholesome companions for them to travel with, to the point that that was harrowing and god awful and just tragic that her father died. And now it kind of makes freaking sense. Because, oh my God, yes, that should have been a red flag. It was a red flag, but I didn't know how to piece it together or explain why when they arrived at this abandoned, you know, military camp, they're clearly there in response to the radio signals that they're pushing out, yet they're not being met with any reception or welcome. It's seemingly abandoned. And then we come to learn that all the troops were just hiding in the brush, scouting out the whole time. And after Hannah's father perishes tragically, I was like, this happened because they weren't revealing themselves. Why didn't they show themselves when there's clearly desperate people here pleading, looking for the freaking National Guard or whoever this is? Yet they only show themselves afterwards, after her father has turned, and then they can kill him. That's when they reveal their presence. At the time, I was scratching my head like, well, he wouldn't have died. None of this would have freaking happened. Her father would still be alive if y'all had just come out and said, hey, come with us. At the time, I was questioning that. Hindsight, it freaking makes sense. They weren't looking for males, clearly. And physically, you know, her father was a bigger, more fearsome foe that they would have had to face later on when they were revealing their true intentions of just obviously trying to harbor women and whatnot. Whereas Jim, as we saw, was a little bit emaciated. You know, he was post-operation, literally. He wasn't rocking with too much meat on his bones, and so they probably, oh my God, that is my theory. That's my headcanon. That makes more sense to me in hindsight, that they were trying to find a way, how can we eliminate the bigger dude who could put up more of a fight get the father out of the equation and we'll let this scrawny guy in. Oh my gosh, but they underestimated him. They freaking were toying with Jim. That is very interesting. His arc, the fact especially that he woke up to all of this and had to just pretty much learn point blank on the spot that the entire world is over. And yeah, literally like be fresh out of surgery, be in your weakest state, like have no meat on your bones, nothing. Everyone you've ever loved is gone. We meet him and he's so vulnerable and obviously terrified and fearful. So we meet him in that he is presented as like the least assuming threat or foe. Like he's very much clinging to Selena for help, you know, to kind of pull him along here for his survival. And then when we get to the scene in the burger joint where he smacks the frick out of that infected teenage boy with a baseball bat, and you come to see there's something about him that is enjoying it. Part of me believed that was him just kind of like taking his revenge. Like that's just a catharsis. That's the only way he can exercise like just all the pain that he has accrued. That how do you process all of that? You know, it makes sense that it would manifest in the form of violence, but Jim wasn't a violent person necessarily. It was, I think, more so just like vengeful. And so it just, his arc to go from the vulnerability that we see him to the vengeful, you know, his revenge tour that he goes on, I think it has served as a way for him to just process and, you know, grieve what has happened to humanity and control only what he can control, which is survival and eliminating even worse opponents, frankly, than just the infected, you know, taking out a larger threat that's here trying to lure other innocent folks to do God knows what, obviously horrific things to the women. This was so much more than I thought it was going to be. I loved the layers to this, and I went into this thinking that it was going to be like scary slasher zombie, like crazy typical zombie apocalypse, but I love that that's not what it was about. Like the zombies were the least of their worries in this. Dang, I still feel like I didn't even dissect this. There was so much to this, and I'm so sorry for my beginning comments. I probably sound like a freaking, I'm sorry, Gen Z, like, was this filmed on a Nintendo? But genuinely, can anybody answer that for me? Like, I'll accept if there was something about the quality of this that, like I was saying, it felt like very found footage, and there was something, this graininess, this eeriness that also just paired well with the fact that at times there's this silence that's deafening throughout the entire city of freaking London, where it should be bustling and crazy and it's chaotic and it's huge, and there's absolutely nothing. There's just this dead, deafening silence with this grainy kind of, you know, found footage. I'm going to believe that was intentional. There was something for me about the cinematography of this. So for something like this to be shot, like it added to the bleakness of it. I don't know. That's why I'm like, please just walk with me. Forgive the fact that I sound like a freaking insufferable Gen Zer. Was this filmed on an iPod Nano? That I don't mean that because I thought it looked visually old or aged or bad. I'm choosing to believe that there was something intentional about that. And even if there wasn't, like, I can accept the fact that this was from 2002. But that's why I was like, okay, listen, I'm sorry. I know how probably god-awful and insufferable that sounds. And as I said, I hated the words coming out of my mouth as I was speaking them. But does anybody know? If anybody has more expertise in this or knowledge, or if this was intentionally shot to have this kind of like graininess that contributed to just the bleak vibes, let me know and just walk with me there. I'm sorry. Now, do I watch the next one? There is, I think I will obviously have to. I want to watch 28 Weeks Later. Well, there's no Tommy Shelby in that one. This one's from 2007. Let me know if I should watch it. So maybe I will check that one out. Let me know if you would like me to watch that one as well between now and when 28 Years Later comes out. Until then, thank you guys so very much for joining me for this edition of SCAREDY CAT. I know it's been long overdue, and it was fun. I got a few good scares in. You know it's bad when I'm looking behind me. I'm checking my door. I forgot. I was in such a good groove. I got smart, and I actually had been locking my door and putting a chair in front of it for these reactions. And I didn't do that, so sorry for all the times that I just panickedly was checking my six. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Let me know if you would like to see me follow this up with 28 Weeks Later. I hope you guys are doing so well as always, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.